Okay, I'm making a small video. I don't know if I'm gonna try to edit it or anything, and I don't know how to put this on pause. So I'm just making it. This is my trailer. It's roughly 6 foot across. It's roughly 10 foot long without the tongue. I've got a little thing that I can, I carried more supplies and stuff. And I got the flags on it. It's kind of ugly up front, but I was being attacked here several months ago from anti-hippie, anti-everything. And they were breaking windows on cars. This whole place was filled with cars, mostly did cars, almost all did cars. And I can actually show you one of the golf balls down here. See that? Every once in a while I come across them. Yeah. So what I did is I started putting the stuff when they moved that little house over here. I didn't have to go so deep. And that car right there, little Hyundai Elantra, is what I used and still use for getting around. Had it for, I don't know, 15 years, 16 years, 14 years. I've had it for a long time. It's 2007. I bought it in the summer of 2007 along with the trailer. I spent several weeks looking at literally about 550 cars and about 500 or 600 trailers. And everybody said it wouldn't work. You can't do that. But it worked very well. I put some bags underneath it for the extra weight to lift it because there's so much weight in the back that the tires are high. And there's no traction, especially if I'm going up any kind of gravel or whatever. I just don't go anywhere. And there's kind of hard to see, I guess, but I don't know if we can see it inside or not. But this is the inside of the car. And I carry supplies in it, jokes, gifts. Inside here is more stuff. And you can see I actually had to build this extra strong, although I don't have any problem pulling the vehicle, the trailer, but I haven't used it in 10 years. I came back from Texas. I was so burnt out and disgusted, not because I wasn't doing good. I was doing good. I was making $500 a day easy. And for a musician, that's like gold, especially if you have no name and no history. Of course, they put me right next to the trash, and so it gets kind of smelly once in a blue moon because almost all the air essentially goes the opposite direction of the trailer and the car. I don't know if you can see the bees over here, but I'll see if I can get some bees for you. I just discovered them. So they're having fun today. Anyway, anything I can't pack in the trailer, basically I've got a couple of boxes. This is my food box. I wish I had more of these. They were like 45 bucks and they're awesome. They keep out the wetness. They do a really good job, but they're not heavy duty. You can't sit on them. They'll break. The other one has one of my projects I was doing. I was trying to build a hat with a Velcro and kind of a comedy thing, and the cost of the hats, and I bought the wrong hats and then I had them made because I didn't know any better. That's a 901 right there, a Bose 90, actually an 800 series. It's an 802 for a PA system, but he didn't have another one. So I got that, and I've never used it, never even plugged it in because I didn't want to spend $200 on an equalizer. So running back around here, this box basically has all kinds of books. Most of those books are hard to come by. There's also about half of it is more equipment. I have stuff that goes back to when I was a kid, preamps and stuff like that. Just never got rid of the cords and this, that, and the other. I always think, I'm going to need it someday because that's what I do. Here's about 200 maybe 250 albums. I can put a little more in there, which I'm going to have to do pretty soon. And inside the trailer is about, I don't know, right now I'd say closer to 300, 350, so 250, 350, and I have another 300 that I really don't want, but I have them at another location. I have about 150 at another location, and then a few more here and there, all the way to Texas, frankly. And this thing, I'd have to put a tarp on it. It seeped in the wetness, and then I had a hell of a job trying to, even though I had plastic on the records and everything, it still came in off the little sides, and it seeped in, and well, not all of them got, just a few of them actually had any problems, but it really pissed me off. I lost my Neil Young album that I really loved a lot. What happened is I had it laying on top of those records, and it was just hot enough, even though I have all this shade, that it was affected. And I mean, it warped like crazy. That's another reason why I don't like Dynaflex. Even though I have those locks on here, I leave them open. I just not so much. I worry about people stealing anything. I always have water, because even though there are springs several miles, it's about the same length, same amount of travel to get to the springs, but the spring water goes bad after several days, and I just don't like it. The local water is horrible. Nobody drinks it. Here's one of my cabinets right there that has, I don't even remember all of what it has, but it had a lot of stuff. The lady that died here, her name was Faith, and she had a wreck. You can see the back part of it, where actually she didn't have the wreck, her son-in-law, and he's not actually the son-in-law, but nevertheless. And then those guys I was telling you about came in here 4 o'clock in the morning in plain sight of everybody at dawn, and started breaking out windows and laughing and everything like that. They threatened me several times. I'm gonna kill ya. I'm gonna get ya. They don't know what I got though. But inside here is more junk. It's not a lot, really. It looks like a lot because it's spread out. But, essentially a few extra things. An extra heater in case I need it. I actually have a propane heater in the front of it because I've lost electricity out here many times. And don't like freezing. And most of the stuff, a good portion of it I'm going to throw away. There's all the Patridge boxes over there. I keep them, thinking that if I actually do the silent auction, they'll come in handy. And I'm a recycler. It's my road out of here. This is my road deeper into it. And inside the front of this thing, there you go. You can kind of see the propane. There's the quick connect. And then I have more CDs. And every year I'd make several hundred presents. And during Christmas, because even though I'm Jewish, it just bothers the hell out of me the amount of hypocrisy that goes on in life. People talking about love and sharing and working and this, that, and the other, and then they make people work on the day that's supposedly the most important in humanity. And yet nobody just goes in there and they don't need to work. People could come earlier. People could leave later, but they won't. Everything is now. And it bothered me a lot. So I'd make for several years at Christmas, I'd go out and I'd be Santa Claus, you might say, and give alcohol, little bottles of alcohol, and sometimes I'd buy pipes if I had the money and get corncob pipes very cheaply, just, like $1 a piece or less. And I had a single plant that I was allowed to grow, and sometimes it would produce an enormous amount, a pot. So I'd give some of that away to people, so that when they got home and off work, they'd have a little celebration. And all these things have movies and CDs, sometimes my own. I'm probably, I know I'm going to do it again this year, but at this moment I'm really trying my best to step down on the amount of material. Here's my, I've probably been looking at this for too long, but there's my huge bag. I can go to the local, it's not Goodwill, but it's a local thing like that, and I can buy $5, I can buy 20 shirts and t-shirts. It's so cheap, it's cheaper than going to clean my stuff a lot of the times. But so I keep putting this in the bag, because you don't want to give the Goodwill kind of place, you don't want to give them dirty clothes. So I figured I'll do those when I come around to it. And I used to keep records in here, and so a lot of what you've seen is actually from inside here eventually, but they all got wet. A lot of them got wet. Back there I have a whole bunch of containers I was using for stuff. Had I thought about it, had I thought that it was going to be a problem, I would have bought a tarp. But I didn't buy a tarp because I didn't think it was going to be a problem. And I lost about 2,500 albums that way, because it would, the water would build up. Don't ask me how. I don't know how. It's pretty dirty. They've been saving them. These guys have been saving their cans for the last, well, 10 years at least, because I've been here almost 10 years. So, give you a little. I have some extra propane tanks in case I'm stuck out here for a few months. That car is just not going to make it through any kind of snow. I've almost gone off the road several times because I forgot that there was ice around. When I was attacked, and I've been attacked many times out here, that's through a rock through there. Thank God they didn't go up to the next window. But that actually put me out of business couple of years ago now, 2.5, 3 years, around COVID. They actually attacked me during COVID. I put these little things to try to catch their attention, and they really got mad at that, and I was glad. I put out a golf bag out there by my car, so that I put the flags up because, so that if they attack me, and this used to look pretty pretty, but it used to say, "Respect vets," and they didn't give a shit. They put holes to destroyed my my refrigeration. So I have, it was 12 volts, it was 110, it was a little everything. It's destroyed my heater, because the heater needs not only propane, but it needs electricity. And so, even if I had the propane, I didn't have the electricity anymore because of the way they broke it. And I'm not a fixer guy, I'm a musician guy. So, I don't know what we got, 12 minutes. Been on this for about 12 minutes. Just real quick. It's messy as hell, especially, it used to be pretty empty in there. And I could actually make I have one of those beds that in the middle, suddenly it becomes a kind of a dining area or whatever. But as I put more and more stuff, here's my stereo. And before COVID, I got this Sansui 5000, which now goes for about $600. I got it for $50 at Leonard's. And I tell Leonard all the time I owe him more money. And then this 1999 preamp, which is a Class A preamp, originally sold for $2,000 in '99. Can't even imagine what it would sell for today, but it's beautiful. It has a nice DAC in it. I finally found something. This is actually one of the few items right here that is new. I have 3 turntables aside from this one, and I have 2 preamps. They're not expensive ones, but I wanted to get into ceramic, and not ceramic, but magnet, different kinds of cartridges. I finally found a cassette player, and I don't know where the cassettes are right now, but there's a little box of them over there, and somewhere I have more. Since this is my bed, you can, it's a mess, I mean, they're right on top of me. They don't ever fall on me, but sometimes I have to put my feet together. In fact, right here where the keys are, essentially that's where my feet go because there's no more room. So I kind of sleep sideways. Got my guitars in here. That guitar that's standing up is an unusual guitar. It had almost 40 signatures that were carved in it. It's a D25 Guild, and I haven't put any strings because it doesn't have the tabs in it, and I went to the little place they have here in town, and I just don't want to spend $30 for what should cost me $5. I understand he wants to make a living, but that's just too much of a jump for me. Inside this box, you can't see too well, it's pretty nice. I had to have something heavy enough to carry the equipment. What I want to do is get rid of that thing in the middle. That's my kitchen, but that's a refrigerator, but I just want to get rid of it all. Put the bed on the other side and then put the stereo, because I've got 2 speakers that haven't made it back yet, and they're the size of this cabinet and the stereo. They're huge. So I dream of getting that back, and one of them is for guitar, and one of them is for, they look the same, they're built the same, they got 2 amps inside of them from 1955. They've got it's a great system, but they needed all the junk inside of them fixed. Anyway, I could walk you around the area a little bit more, but I think this is good enough for the moment, and it'll keep. It took darn near 15 hours to upload the last little film, and the process to edit this thing is pretty difficult because my software is just not that good. It's free, so it can take hours to make, not for me to make it, but just to process all the changes I've made to it. So I don't know. Don't got to do that. Got a few. This poor tree is burning out from the heat. A year ago, man, it was 119. Can you believe it in this part of the country? But most of the time, it's actually pretty good. I will show you. I don't know if you can actually see the smoke, but the smoke is coming down from all the way up near Vancouver or whatever. We're starting to get that smoke. This is my antenna. Got a piece of wire all the way down in there. This is my outside. Put some of my cans and food, because if I see a really good deal like the Miracle Whip I got for like $1, and instead of spending $2 or $2.50, the biggest problem is I have no refrigeration, and that's because I have a very limited 110 line, and really, if I want to hear the stereo, I cannot have a refrigerator. So kind of, rocking a hard place. So I try to stay away from refrigerated food most of the time. Usually if I get it, it's for a day or two. And this igloo, I've tried several things. I don't know why I just did that. Just kind of wanted to see. I can put a bag in it and last for 3-4 days. And anyway, I think that's it. Have a good one.